Conservative accounts are being restored, all as censorship begins to collapse on Twitter. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the accounts that are active once again. We're going to see for ourselves the stats of how Twitter was disproportionately censoring conservative opinion. And stick with me at the very end of this video when I'll reveal what the political and cultural ramifications will be now that the era of woke censorship is crumbling right before our very eyes. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Stevie with you. Great to be with you as always. I am your daily fake news antidote, so come on into your Patriot Professor's Den where I help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe. Before we begin, I do want to introduce you to an amazing organization called Patriot Switch. We often talk on this channel about building parallel structures, building parallel businesses and institutions to emancipate ourselves from all the woke corporations like Netflix that are out there. Well, Patriot Switch has helped over 2 million patriots all across the country make sure that all of their purchases go to supporting patriotic companies. And the coolest thing is that you really don't even have to change anything outside your ordinary routine or the items that you're already purchasing. Patriot Switch will show you exactly how you can start voting with your dollars to support companies that promote our values of faith, family, and freedom. So make sure to learn more by visiting Patriot Switch in the description below. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Elon Musk hasn't even formally taken over Twitter as of yet. That process may, in fact, take several months. But already the Twitter platform is radically changing. Conservatives and patriots by the boatloads are claiming that they're seeing a massive uptick in followers over the last 48 hours. All as leftist liberal accounts appear to be losing followers. Can anyone say bots? I mean, we've seen it ourselves. If you haven't followed me on Twitter yet, make sure to head on over there and click the follow button. We got a really hot Twitter feed that you'll love, and it's certainly picking up activity. In addition, we're starting to see a number of conservative personalities return to Twitter. So after news of Elon Musk's takeover, Tucker Carlson tweeted out, "We're back." I'm sure many of you know Tucker was locked out of his account after he identified a transgender Biden official as a male. Well, now he's tweeting again, along with Mark Levin, who tweeted out, "Thanks to new ownership, I decided to come back." Levin hasn't tweeted since January prior to that. Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted out, "Prepare for blue check mark full-scale meltdown after Elon Musk seals the deal and I should get my personal Twitter account restored." Now, of course, this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the spear. There are a number of accounts that conservatives are calling on for Twitter to reinstate, especially when Musk finally takes over. For his part, President Trump has said he has no plans to return to Twitter. Obviously, he now owns his own Twitter alternative, Truth Social. And, well, I mean, just frankly, that makes sense. Why would Trump invest energy in a company that he is now formally competing against, right? We'll see over the next year or so if he does decide to come back, just as a symbolic gesture that the woke left's power over the platform has indeed imploded. And that is clearly happening. That is something that's rather self-evident on the Twitter platform as we speak. The left is in full meltdown mode, and they're fleeing their once beloved Twitter in droves. Pew Research conducted a study several months back that found that the vast majority of content creators on Twitter, so these are the highly prolific tweeters who are responsible for the vast majority of tweets, Pew found that they are indeed overwhelmingly Democrat. 69% of Twitter influencers identified as Democrats in that study. Overall, Pew found that 67% of Twitter users lean Democrat as compared to only 30% who lean Republican. And so Twitter has obviously been a platform that went full woke. And the key characteristic of wokeness is a full-blown ban on all dissent. This is why even many liberals hate wokeness. Wokeness bans, it disallows any and all dissent from its orthodoxy. Silence is compliance, right? You must raise your fist or you are part of the problem. I mean, that's wokeism. It's Marxist, it's evil, and it's responsible for mass censorship, particularly on Twitter. A study conducted by the Media Research Center in October of last year found that Twitter censored Republican members of Congress 54-1 compared to congressional Democrats. So for every one act of censoring a Democrat, you had 54 acts of censoring Republicans. And we're talking some of the biggest names in the conservative political world. You know, we're talking Senator Rand Paul, Donald Trump Jr., the Brazilian president, Jair Bolsonaro, has been censored many times. And of course, the mother of all censorships, a permanent ban on a sitting president of the United States. Well, as you can see by all appearances, those days are over. Conservatives are flocking in droves to the Twitter platform. All the energy, all the excitement and enthusiasm is with the patriot wing of the platform. All the while, woke leftists are having temper tantrums. You don't have to be a genius to figure out now who's taking over the new cyber culture over at Twitter. But why does all of this matter? What are the ultimate ramifications of the collapse of woke enforced censorship on Twitter? Seth Dillon, the CEO of the Babylon Bee, whose account, of course, was and continues to be suspended. They've effectively been locked out of their account ever since they tweeted out a stinging satirical response to what they considered to be an obvious case of gender lunacy. But he really said it best in terms of both the importance of Twitter as well as what Twitter's censors were actually doing. And he's being echoed by the likes of Darren Beattie over at Revolver News. They both rightly refer to Twitter as the de facto global public square. It really is, for right or for wrong, the epicenter of narrative formation and narrative dissemination, where all the thought leaders in literally every discipline engage in discourse. And so for better or for worse, Twitter is the place, or better, the cyberspace, where meta-narratives are formed. And a meta-narrative is a paradigm that explains and mutually interprets and assimilates all the various disciplines out there into a single coherent worldview. And when it came to all the major issues of our day, COVID, vaccines, mask mandates, election integrity, LGBT issues, when it came to all the major issues of the day, you and I were not allowed to hold or express an opinion different from that of woke orthodoxy. Twitter allowed absolutely no dissent. Just ask the tens of thousands of accounts that have been permanently suspended for being guilty of the crime of simply having a different opinion from that of woke leftists on these fundamental issues. And now that platform, that worldwide platform that woke leftists have used all these years to fabricate an artificial public consensus on these issues, that platform will now be used to disseminate and celebrate and champion those very dissenting opinions. Now, this is what these far-left wackos like Elizabeth Warren are so worried about. They're not worried about getting banned or getting their accounts suspended. They know they don't have the slightest worry about that. They are freaked out over the fact that their woke worldview is now going to be publicly challenged. That is what they're freaking out over. Woke leftists are melting down over the fact that their sacred cows are going to be openly questioned and disputed, and countering arguments and alternative explanations, dissenting vantage points are going to be made public. That is what they fear. And think about it. Think about the insanity of this. These woke leftists like Elizabeth Warren are so radically incoherent that they're actually trying to make the argument that opening up a public discussion to wider opinions and assessments is a threat to democracy. That's how utterly absurd these people become. And as you can obviously see why they're so afraid. Wokeism is absurd. Wokeism isn't just wrong. Wokeism is absurd. Its proponents can't define gender, and yet they think they're the ones most capable of policing disinformation. They claim to be the defenders of freedom, all the while they stifle any opportunity you have to dissent from their opinions. They're not just wrong, they're patently absurd. And if Twitter is the default global public platform, then that absurdity is going to be exposed for all the world to see. That is what they're ultimately afraid of. And it really does look like that nightmare for woke leftists all over the world is about to come true. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on the woke left in absolute shock after losing Twitter. I promise it's the most fun you've had in a while by watching this video. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.